Hey everybody, this is just a recap video of the 11th lesson of the Thread series. So I just wanted to give everybody a chance to either catch up or maybe have a little reminder of what we talked about. So we're going through the whole story of the Bible and we're connecting the Old Testament passages and New Testament passages. And so now in the story, we are right after the plagues of Egypt, right before God led his people out of Egypt. So that's where we are in the story. Let me read a couple little passages and just say a few things on them, okay? So in Exodus 13, 17 through 22, it says, "When Pharaoh let the people go, God did not lead them by the way of the land of the Philistines, although that was near. For God said, lest the people change their minds when they see war and return to Egypt. But God led the people around by the way of the wilderness toward the Red Sea, and the people of Israel went up out of the land in Egypt equipped for battle. Moses took bones of Joseph with him, for Joseph has made the sons of Israel solemnly swear, saying, God will surely visit you, and you shall carry up my bones with you from here. And they moved on from Succoth and encamped at Etham on the edge of the wilderness. And the Lord went before them by day in pillar of cloud and led them along the way, and by night in pillar by fire to give them light, that they may travel by day and by night. The pillar of cloud by day and the pillar of fire by night, and did not depart from the people." So that's where we are now. The Israelites have left Egypt, being led by Moses, and the important part of the story here is God is with them no matter what, night and day, always, just like he is with us, okay? And then later on, we see Pharaoh didn't like this, right? Pharaoh did not like this at all. He said in chapter 14, verse 5, he says, "When the king of Egypt was told that the people had fled, the mind of Pharaoh and his servants was changed toward the people, and they said, what is this thing that we have done, that we have let Israel go from serving us? So he made ready his chariot and took his army with him." So he knew that this was the end of the Israelites being his servants and slaves, right? And he didn't like it, right? He wanted them to be in his service. Even though all these plagues happened, even though God showed himself to Pharaoh through the plagues and through the warnings, he still didn't want to give up these slaves that he had, even though it was obvious that God was on his side, on the side of the Israelites. And then lastly, we see all this happen, Pharaoh chasing them down, and I'm just kind of summarizing 14, but eventually we get to a point where they're stuck between the army, Pharaoh's army, and the Red Sea, right? This is a no-win situation, right? It's like the saying, between a rock and a hard place. We get in these situations now in our lives, just like that happened with the Israelites and Moses. We get in these situations where it seems like there is no way out. And the reason why it seems like there's no way out, it's twofold. One is because we're only looking at things that we can do on our own power, right? Only physical things sometimes. And the second thing is because God can do the impossible, we can get out of those situations. So those are the two ways that we need to understand how people look at situations, and a lot of reasons why we believe we're in a no-win situation is because we're trying to do it on our own, and we're trying to only look at human means to solve a problem, right? And so we see what God does here. In verse 21 it says, "Then Moses stretched out his hand over the sea, and the Lord drove back the sea by a strong east wind. All night made the sea dry land, and the waters were divided. And the people of Israel went into the midst of the sea on dry ground, and the waters being a wall to them on their right and on their left." So we know the rest of that story, right? The Israelites got through the Red Sea, passed over to the other side. The water came in on the Egyptian army and destroyed them. And God made a way when a way seemed impossible. And that's the same way for us. I hope we never forget that. And I hope we keep on being encouraged and learn these stories from the Old Testament, that how we see God work and how we see the gospel of pointing to Jesus and being there for his people I hope we never forget that. And I hope you continue to catch up with what we do on Sunday morning. So that's all I got today. I love you guys, and I'll see you later.